I'm back, and somehow wearing the same shirt as I did when I started this whole thing last week. Well, it must be laundry day. Paul Catalina's Top 5, presented by Texas Beef House. 365 Sports is your promo code, 10% off. We're still diving through the preseason top 25. Later in the week, on Thursday and Friday, we will have the 10 teams that just missed it, and I tortured myself over trying to find a way to put them in here. So if you are not included in this, please don't send me hate mail. I really, really worked hard on this. Garrett and Emery can confirm. I labored over it for minutes. Number 10, Florida State. I still think they're the class of the ACC. I think they've got the best coach going right now in the ACC, and Mike Norvell. And yes, I'm a homer, but a true homer would put them at 1 or 2. I think this is a team that's 10-2, 9-3 at the worst. We'll see how DJU adjusts. I think that they'll be really good on defense again, even though they've lost some guys over there. I think they'll be very efficient on offense. I think you'll see a better running game, maybe even last year overall than numbers-wise. Wide receiver's a big question mark, but I think they'll get that worked out because they've got some athletes. Just don't have 2 alpha dogs like Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson. That's not the case right now. Maybe somebody develops into that. Malik Benson, Hakeem Williams, someone. But they have depth there, and they have a lot of good. They just may not have great. And you can get by with a lot of good as long as you don't have bad. Running back will be a really fun position for them. And they have a fun schedule this year. They got to take on Notre Dame. They got Miami. They got Clemson. They got Florida. They've got Memphis, Georgia Tech, and Ireland. This should be a wild year for the Noles and should be very, very fun to watch. Number 9, Alabama. I just love this movie so much, and I particularly love this scene. And, you know, I know it's not – he played for the Crimson Tide. He was number 44. He was a damn good kickoff returner in Forrest Gump. I think that this is a team that's going to be really good. They've lost some of their depth, which is why I have them at 9th. But they haven't lost Jalen Milroe. They've got guys you've probably not heard of as much that are still going to be studs. Kalen DeBoer is an excellent coach. They'll be fun to watch. He's not afraid to take a lot of risks either, so it should be fun to see him and Jalen Milroe kind of meshing there when that offense comes down to it's 4th and 7 at our own 41-yard line, we're going to go for it, kind of a thing that Kalen DeBoer likes to do. He loves to throw caution to the wind because he believes his team will get it back no matter what. One of the most confident coaches in the country, and I love that about him. Number 8, Kansas State. I've got them higher than most anybody. Why, Garrett? Because I am Avery Johnson's number 1 fan outside of Manhattan, Kansas.
That is 100% correct.
I think he is dynamic. I think he's going to be super fun to watch. He gives me Johnny Manziel vibes. I was at Johnny Manziel's first start they actually lost, not his fault, against Florida, and I thought, oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun to watch. And then I found my way back to watch them that year every time Baylor had an away game or bye week, like whatever. I went back and saw Johnny Manziel play a bunch in his career. I say a bunch, 3 times in his career that I went to that Cotton Bowl game. But Avery Johnson gives you that kind of thing where you just don't know what's going to happen, and I think that, especially in a league like the Big 12, throwing a guy like that in here, oh my gosh, he's going to be a whirling dervish. It's going to be fun. Who do I have ranked ahead of them? Well, we don't have to go too far out of the conference to Utah. I think that you got to put Utah, and look, I picked Kansas State to eventually win this league. They don't play each other in the regular season, so the only way they're going to play each other is in the conference title game. So I'm putting Utah here because Cam Rising is back. He has a huge chip on his shoulder. You can tell he's missed playing ball. He is ready to go. They've got a great running back in Micah Bernard who can take a lot of pressure off of him. They've got Brant Keithy back. They're absolutely excellent tight end. Their offensive line is always going to be good, and Kyle Whittingham's defense just knocks you into dust all of the time. So I still think this is going to be a really good team, but we'll see what happens down the line when it comes to meeting the bigger powers of the Big 12 for Utah. But number 7, I think, is a really fair spot for them to start out the season. And finally today, number 6, Ole Miss. I think this is a playoff team. Let me tell you something about Ole Miss that I might be one of the few people in the country that's mentioned before, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but they killed the transfer portal this year. Walter Nolan, the chief among them. But they got a ton of really good players in the transfer portal. And they did lose Quinshon Judkins, which is a total bummer for them. But they are stacked across the field. One of the knocks I saw on them coming out of SEC Media Days is, do they have the quality depth like everybody else in the SEC? Here's one thing that nobody's talking about. Lane Kiffin also not afraid to use the JUCO route to get guys, and he's got 5 to 7 of the top 20 ranked JUCO players in the country coming in there. So that's the depth. Those are veteran guys who are ready to play at the next level, who have matured in most cases in JUCO when you get JUCO transfers. I think depth is not going to be a problem for Ole Miss, and I think that if it's not now, it might be never for Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, because this team is absolutely stacked. Stacked. They spent a lot of money. They should earn this. And by the way, this is Ulysses Bentley. Don't forget about him. He's still a really good running back and just overshadowed by a stud in Quinshon Judkins the last couple of seasons. That's going to do it for us today. I'm back with the top 5 tomorrow. Please, no hate mail. Or just address it to Smokey. The fact that I'm here is his fault anyway. He came up with this segment. I still love doing it, but just blame it all on him, because I don't know if I can take the slings and arrows emotionally anymore. I'm a sensitive little boy. Which is a great way to end a college football segment, with the words sensitive little boy. I hope you enjoyed the show today. I hope you enjoyed the top 5. We're wrapping it up right now.